Hi guys, welcome to Robin Hood Diaries this evening. How are you? Thanks for joining me as always. Tonight's going to be a very short show, relatively speaking, a very pointed show, but not a very long show. I just want to bring up two elements. One would be, a circumstance. The other would be sort of a question to you, my viewers. I suppose that the first bullet point would be something that occurred on September 1st, and that would be this. For 43 years, E.T. has been having these "where are they now" type things, hundreds of them. And in every single one, like 110%, they have the obvious, the couple of leads, then the three boys, then of course Key, D, Keys, KC, all of that. Now this came out on September 1st. This is the first time in 43 years that I have been omitted, glaringly omitted with my section and photograph with the other boys from any kind of publicity. This is actually People Magazine. So People Magazine has a "Where Are They Now" section currently as of September 1st. And what has, as I said, happened for 43 years, each of us gets a chunk of the main 5 or 6 characters. Now, as I said, on September 1st, I have been completely erased from that article. So my second point, and then I'll leave you with this, is let's say, for example, you were a very dedicated person and you obtained your nursing degree at 26. And you went straight into nursing. You loved nursing. It was your calling, you had discovered. And you worked diligently as a nurse in high regard for 30 years. So at 26, you finish schooling and become a nurse. And your family takes great pride in your service to humanity. You have a son that you raised during all of those years, nursing for 30 some odd years after going to nursing school. You successfully raised that son to the age of 21. And you happen to get 1 year, maybe 2 years consecutive, which happens in hospitals. The hospital that you were working at, St. whomever, whatever, became Nurse of the Year. So you weren't charge nurse, you weren't a master's in nursing, but you attained Nurse of the Year, let's say 2 years running, 21 to 22. Now let's say that you voluntarily participated in a documentary about what it's really like to get into nursing. And you voluntarily participate in that documentary, which is literally the equivalent of, let's say, 120 teasers from a YouTube channel. That would be an hour and a half, the length of a documentary. And in that documentary, you, in the course of discussing all sorts of elements of your career and your life, happen to divulge that you, at some point many years ago, as a very young person, had somewhat of a checkered past, let's say. Let's say that you dabbled in substance misuse. Let's say that you were promiscuous. Let's say that you divulged a broken home and perhaps maybe the things how that impacted you and the things that you did. And this all became part of this hour and a half documentary about nursing, which I said is the equivalent of, let's say, roughly 120 one-minute clips or teasers. Let's say then, after that, the hospital that you had been working for 30 some odd years decided summarily, after that documentary was released, to take your placard down as Nurse of the Year. Both of them, 21, 22, where you were Nurse of the Year. Your placard in that hall of staff accolades was removed. Both of the plaques were removed from the list over the years. And there they stood, blank. You, embarrassed, your son that you had raised to 21, embarrassed, and his friends, who are your only friends, really, you, your son, his friends, are all very curious and baffled and ask questions about why something like this would have occurred after what we had prided ourselves in your parents pulling themselves up and having that nursing career of 30 some odd years, and then participating in a documentary where they were brutally honest about their background, and the hospital removing those two placards for Nurse of the Year. And those children go to that hospital, their parents go to that hospital, they all know about your esteemed career in nursing, and all wonder why now you have been taken down from the wall that had your placard of Nurse of the Year 2 years running, because you voluntarily participated in a documentary about nursing on YouTube. So I'll leave you with that. You can draw your own conclusions. You're intelligent people, and I love you. I adore you above all else. This is still the highlight of my day, and I thank you for sharing your time with me. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.